Hey guys, how's it going, and welcome to another spoiler video here with at least 6% less Oscar and 1% more Joey.
This is like 2%. I'm like the better milk. Okay.
Gross. So we got some yellow spoilers tonight.
I saw one said fairy tale. I'm sorry, Colin. I peeked.
I know you peeked. So I will start us off. So first off, we have the second advent of Hope Grimmia.
It's Grimmia.
It's a 5-cost 12/12 fairy tale and avatar. If your life is 2,000 or less, you may pay 3 less to play this card. Remove an aura in your graveyard from the game. This card gains Flying, Drain, and Barrier until end of turn. Ooh, so we saw that the Chant, the yellow Chant earlier that does the one thing that I forget what it does, but it was a Chant with aura. So if you had played that Chant earlier and it's in your graveyard, you get to remove that from game and you give him all those things. Basically, worst case scenario, you're giving him free barrier against something that might kill him.
Yeah.
Like flying and drain on top of that, so you're gaining 1,200 life potentially and flying over people and stuff like that. And if you're less than 2,000 life, he's 2. That's awesome.
Yeah, I like this. He seems good. He seems a little expensive for 5, and I don't know how good the aura like combos are doing. But
say he'd be terrible in epic stories.
True. Yeah, I mean, I think he certainly seems pretty decent.
Well, I mean, especially I think he's good for a couple reasons. One, I mean, even 5 costs is, I don't know how prevalent aura is going to be, but potentially a 5 cost 12/12 flying, drain, and barrier.
Yeah.
Just that alone, and then if you're less than 2,000 life, a 2 cost 12/12 with possibly flying, drain, and barrier is really good. And the fact that it's a fairy tale, so you could run instead of fairy tale decks. I don't know how prevalent those will be going forward, but I think they will be because they introduced a bunch of fairy tale stuff, but especially in Wander format after rotation. But currently, like, I could search him off of my Millium 2.0 deck with the roll that searches for whatever you roll. Usually 5 cost is a good card to put in there and stuff like that, but I think it's pretty good, especially for fairy tale.
I'm hoping we get some like aura support or whatever, like more aura stuff.
More aura.
I like him. More.
Maybe some aura recharging, like in like what Jean has.
Shut up.
All right, next one, Joey.
All right. Next we have Grimmia's Fairy. She's a 2 cost 5/5 fairy tale, and she's a fairy.
Ooh.
She has Flying, Drain.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's not bad, I guess. Yeah, for flying and drain, and a fairy tale and a fairy, it'd be really good in a fairy deck.
Not that we have those anymore. But.
I feel like we've seen this artist before. It is art, but yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
It seems like the art that we just had for the promo for this stone, was that it?
I think that's what I'm thinking of, is from a I don't know what you're talking about, but from another stone, a green stone at some point. Looked similar artwork to this.
Yeah, it was the promo for one of the stones, and like it's like a girl and a guy like facing each other, and they're like holding like an apple or whatever.
No, I mean maybe, but that's not what I'm thinking of in my head.
Okay. No.
All right.
Yeah, it's fine. Looks interesting.
It's average.
Yeah.
Next, we have A Mother's Love, 1 cost quick cast Chant with aura. So what we were just talking about. Choose one. Draw a card, or prevent the next 800 damage that would be dealt to target J, Resonator, or yourself this turn. That's not bad. I always say 1 cost draw card at minimum is always at least a decent card to have.
Yeah.
And
it's all right.
You're going to want cards with aura in your graveyard if that's going to be a mechanic outside of just that Grimmia.
Yeah.
So you'll want to run this, if nothing else, just to start populating your graveyard. And so if you get to draw a card off of that, or if you get to prevent damage, which would prevent something from dying, or possibly kill something, or prevent yourself from dying.
Right. Or like... sorry, go.
I was gonna say, especially if you're like somehow do a deck that maybe gets you below that 2,000 health for maybe if there's other cards to go with it, and then after you're below that 2,000, you want to start preventing damage to keep yourself from dying or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's also like an argument to be made that like if there's a lot of good like remove an aura from your graveyard effects, like how Grimmia had, like this is technically like you can play this for a 1. It goes into the graveyard, and then you can remove it with Grimmia to give yourself a barrier. It's like in some ways this is like a double whammy of like I can play this, draw a card, and then give Grimmia his barrier flying and drain.
And you can also do stuff like swing in and they don't declare blockers, and so you populate your like draw card and stuff, and then so you can stack that drain multiple times to gain a crap ton of health.
Oh yeah, you can stack drain, can't you?
Yep.
So you can remove multiple auras to give the Grimmia drain.
It's not the best play because gain life does not help you win the game. But especially if you got below that 2,000 and now you want to bring yourself back up, you just go and then bring yourself back up to 4,000 or something.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Okay, last one. Is that me?
Yeah.
Aura of Hope. 1 cost. Quick cast, rest target J/Resonator.
It's an aura.
Yeah, it is an aura. Oh, this is interesting. This is good.
Yeah, yellow seems to be going all in on resting stuff and doing stuff with rested stuff.
The only issue I have with this, and I've had this issue with a lot of like Magic's mechanics, is I hate the time. Like, there's a weird timing issue. You're technically supposed to use this before somebody declares their attackers, because after they've declared their attackers, it shouldn't work anymore. So I've always found there's this really weird like timing or like miscommunication with people where like you'll say like, oh, okay, I'm going to attack with Grimmia, and then they say like, oh, I'm going to play Aura of Hope on your Grimmia to like rest him, but like technically you needed to do that before I declared him as an attacker. And like, what if you didn't know I wanted to declare him as an attacker? And it's just really gay. And I hate like Magic. I feel like Magic had that too, where like I'm going to like choose what guys I want to attack with, and then and then I'm gonna say I'm gonna attack with these guys, and then you're gonna play this card that rests or taps a target creature, and like you don't know what I was going to attack with or what sequencing I was going to do until I already did it. So I hate that. I hate it a lot, and I don't think there's an easy answer to it. So
an interesting thing to note with this and the other card is it almost feels like they're printing cards for yellow with aura that are very similar to other cards that exist, just they're adding the aura to it. So they're making it so you can have all the mechanics that you would have ran inside of your yellow deck anyways, but adding aura to it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
like this is similar to is it Shining Strike that used to rest
well, there's that. There's also there's a couple others that exist right now too. I forget off the top of my head, but it definitely, there's stuff that already exists in New Frontiers as well.
Yeah, but I do think this is super good. Like, again, if IU becomes a problem, this is an answer. Like, it's a really good answer too.
That's true. It also works really good inside of Lumia.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
a 1 cost, rested blink stuff and all that.
Yeah, no, this is super. Like, this is really, really good. I'm just frustrated with how many miscommunications and like this. Like, this is gonna piss me off because I'm gonna have that one time where like I want to do a certain sequencing, and like the enemy wasn't going to know what I wanted to do until I do it, and then they're just gonna say like who knows if you want to actually attack with your J ruler until you actually attack with it, and like you're supposed to play this before that happens, and nobody is going to. They're just gonna wait until you declare your attacks, and they're gonna say, oh, I wanted to rest him the whole time, and it's really dumb.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's
let us know your guys' thought on that.
But yeah, no, Aura Hope's really, really good. Really, really good.
Yeah, so those are pretty straightforward spoilers, but I really like them. I think those will, especially me specifically, because I tend to run light colors in a lot of the decks I make. Obviously, especially my Millium and Millium 2.0 and Pandas and stuff like that. So I think at least a couple of these cards will prove themselves extremely useful going forward. So I'm excited about them. Nothing exploding out here crazy, but some pretty cool stuff overall, I think.
This also lets you bypass like blockers and stuff. Like if they only have one guy up. Like you just rest him and he can't block. Anyways, yeah.
Rest him and then swing in with Grimmia. Rest their only flyer.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all spoilers. Let us know what you guys think below, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Later.